I'm getting the.
The film is this one, the black one?
There you go. You've got yours.
Mina.
Oh, you are filming.
Okay, Mina. Tell us what the event is, Mina.
Oh, I've captured those.
Gigi, what is the event? What are we celebrating today?
Grandpa Mike's birthday.
How old is he?
85.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry about the presentation, it's not very good.
The first piece is
Patrick.
always the most challenging.
He's in charge of the pie.
Yes.
Okay. Meki made the pie. What type of pie is it, Meki?
Apple pie.
It's apple pie, Grandpa Mike's favorite pie.
Is it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, apple, blueberry,
Blackberry.
blackberry,
Who's this?
strawberry and rhubarb. I like them all.
Strawberry and rhubarb, that's your favorite, isn't it,
You want
Mina?
ice cream?
Yes,
You,
please.
that's good 'cause you're getting.
Just act natural, pretend the camera's
I'm a
not
pie
there.
person.
We used to grow rhubarb in our yard back in Victoria
Yeah,
when we were
that's right.
growing up, Mina.
Me too.
You can't eat the leaves, right?
No.
They're poisonous.
Yeah.
You can eat them, but
You have to cook them a certain
I
way.
don't know what
you
happens.
have to go to the
if you
hospital
do.
right after.
Yes, we didn't like those meals
Pardon?
Mina, this is for you.
growing
How
up.
much do you want? Is that enough?
There's not a lot of ice cream.
Mina's a nice
I see.
We had lots of blackberry bushes at our place too, Gigi,
Thank you.
when we grew up.
Thank you.
Well, why didn't you guys
They've actually
come to
never
my
been,
house
they've
and
never
we
been to
can-
Helvetia, isn't it incredible? They've never been to Helvetia.
Did you have lots of
Have I
blackberries?
Yeah.
Ice cream, Daddy?
Yes, and just very little.
Have I ever been past your old house?
No, I was just saying that you've never been to the house where we grew up.
The presentation's getting better of these ladies.
It actually still looks the same, it's beautiful.
Yellow.
It's a bit overgrown, it's yellow, yes.
You've never been to my house either.
In Vaudreuil. Pierrefonds, pardon, c'est Pierrefonds.
Where was it?
Tell us about your house when you were growing up, Danny. Please.
That was a big pool. That was
They had a
big
swimming
special
pool.
thing.
12.
Why can't we have a swimming pool? 12 feet deep?
Feet deep, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, perhaps 11.
Perhaps like 4 feet.
Lucky.
It was a little narrow, but
Oh,
very
okay.
long, so we could train for the Olympics.
Wow.
We had a springboard,
Diving board.
a diving board, a spring one.
Dad, did you have a swimming pool when you were growing up?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yes.
It's unavailable.
Unavailable.
I nearly drowned in 2.5 feet of water
Right.
at the local swimming pool.
So Gigi wants to know what it was like growing up during the Second World War when London was being bombed.
What? Yeah, I was
Gigi.
there, all right.
Okay, you did hear. Gigi wants to know. Oh, you heard, so I don't need to
You
repeat
want to
now.
know what it was like?
What it was like.
It's true, actually. You want to
Scary.
know.
Scary. It was scary.
No. Well,
How's the apple pie?
most of the time we were sleeping in the crypt of a church. But then, one time we had an incendiary bomb in the back garden.
Wow, did you hear that?
Yeah.
What's an incendiary bomb?
And another time I was working in the factory and they got hit by a flying bomb. So,
Like a V2 rocket or V1 rocket?
V1 I think it was. But it was a huge factory and I was about a mile away from the bomb. So,
Could you hear it blow up?
really,
Just
Oh, wow.
we got blasted.
All right.
There's no more ice
Could you hear it in the air?
There's chocolate.
No, it's when you can't hear it
have booze.
that it's dangerous.
Right.
When it stops,
Did
when
you
you
want
stop
some
hearing
of
it, then you have to duck
Sure.
for cover.
I don't mind.
How did it sound when it was in the air?
Maybe you have
Oh,
some
I
of
can't
that.
remember anymore.
Did it make a whistling or a high-pitched
More
sound?
like a droning noise.
Did you say there was one in your garden?
That was just an incendiary bomb.
What's an incendiary
What is
bomb?
it?
A fire bomb.
Designed to light everything on fire and cause a fire
Your
that would
garden?
spread.
That was early in the war. That was early in the war.
Right.
And These were little stick bombs about like that, about that long and about that round. And when they dropped, they started a fire, you know.
So did it start a fire in your backyard?
No, I don't think so. In this case, they didn't always work like that, and it particularly depended on the weather as well, you know. But they did a kind of. I wonder if the Brits must have used those when they did that carpet bombing. You know.
In Dresden, I think they did.
Yeah. But this was early on, and it was kind of like. In a certain way, just a stray one, you know.
This was in Hayes?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Well, during the war, at the beginning, when they had the Blitz, and I was in central London, when the war started, I was just before my 11th birthday.
Wow, yeah, cute as you.
Yeah. And then when the war finished, that was just before my 17th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the planes like dropping? Did you see the planes like dropping
Yeah.
the bombs?
I saw one plane coming down in flames.
Oh wow.
And then one of the other things we used to see, you know those barrage balloons? You remember them? They used to be go down in flames too.
What's a barrage balloon? What is a barrage
Well,
balloon?
it looks like an airship, but it's kind of an inflated object. Like I said, it looks like an airship, and it's on cables.
What's the point of it?
It's a sort of defence against the incoming attacks, is to keep them high up.
Okay. So would there be people with guns in the barrage balloons, or are they just...
No.
They just prevent flying planes?
They'd have those along. They had anti-aircraft guns.
Yeah.
And then barrage balloons.
So does it just prevent them from coming in, flying in low?
Too low, yeah. And every now and again, the enemy, so to speak, would catch one of them and sort of set it on fire.
Oh, okay.
Where would Grandpa like hide?
Where did you hide? Because the air raid sirens would go off, right? The
What?
air raid sirens would go off.
Yeah, that's right. They went off a lot. And we used to go from our house
He's your dad.
down to the end of the street, and we slept in the crypt of this church. And I remember when I went back there in the 60s, it had turned into a mosque.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So you hid in the basement of the church.
Did you ever have to go into the subway? Into the underground?
Yeah, we never did sleep in the underground. We weren't near one.
Oh, in Hayes, right? Yeah.
There's one there now, but
Yeah.
like for London Airport, but
Right. Yeah.
there wasn't then.
Okay.
Yeah. But we had an Anderson shelter at Aunt Mary's.
What's that?
There's two different kinds of home shelters. There's an Anderson and a Morrison.
Yeah.
And the Anderson was one, it was made of corrugated iron sheets.
Yeah.
And then you dug a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of digging, because you had to be able to sleep. You could sleep maybe 4 people in one of those.
Yeah.
And you had to dig it deep enough. You put the corrugated construction in it, and then you cemented it in on the inside,
Right.
where you had these kind of a floor of cement.
Yeah.
And walls about that thick
Okay.
around. And then you all caught pneumonia because it was so bloody damp.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you what?
they got pneumonia, like a terrible chest cold.
Why?
It was very humid and wet.
Cold and damp.
West
in the
Cold.
ground.
And then the Morrison ones were like inside.
Yeah, like in the house.
Yeah, in the house.
Hmm.
And they were made of
You're not offering?
metal sheets, metal,
You want some?
and people used them. You slept underneath,
Yeah.
but in the daytime you used it as a dining
Oh,
table because it
okay.
was very, like it was about that high maybe.
Right, so you can just all lie in it underneath it.
Yeah,
Staring at the cross.
Wow.
I never experienced one of those.
Yes.
Did you sing when you were in the shelters?
Hmm?
Did you sing when you were in the shelters?
Yeah. Roll out the barrel
Mm-hmm.
and all that. Yeah.
Gonna hang out the washing on the jig for
Big
you?
line is really dirty.
Danny boy.
Mother dear.
Mhm.
And we'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. You know, and there'll be white, some white cliffs over there'll be what something over the white cliffs of Dover,
Oh, yeah.
Mira Lynn,
Yeah,
bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover.
right.